Reppin' Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. PhillyGoat.com is your one stop shop for Philly pride. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Look fresh, stay Philly, Philly Goat. Go Birds. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for February 11th, 2026. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy Hump Day to everyone out there. We are officially in after tonight, a dead period for a few days in Philly sports as the Phillies open up spring training today. Pitchers and catchers. About time. No Eagles. Sixers finish up tonight against the Knicks, and then it's the All-Star break, so they're off for a week, and then the Flyers are off for like another week and a half or so for the Olympic break. Time to reset, time to get our mind right and look ahead to everything that's coming. So we'll start resetting kind of the next week or so. We need it. It's been a rough go here the past 6 to 8 months. So, as I mentioned, Sixers in action tonight against the Knicks down at the X. Huge game. Obviously, it's the last one before the All-Star break, but team you're chasing, you've already beaten them twice on your home court. You faltered down the stretch in a game on your home court, not that a couple weeks ago. So this is a good win for them to get some, not necessarily bragging rights, but get some depth on, or don't know what I'm talking about here. Gain some ground on the team that they are behind in the standings, get a little bit of confidence going into the All-Star break. And like I said, it's going to be a dead zone. But I'm looking forward to this game tonight. Sixers need to get it together in the third quarter. They are just absolutely brutal in the third quarter. So hopefully that goes better tonight. But Sixers Knicks down at the X. I mentioned Phillies pitchers and catchers. Today they start, and lots of question marks regarding this rotation. We know that Christopher Sanchez is going to start off as the ace because Zach Wheeler won't be there for opening day. Aaron Nola is going to be in there. Hopefully he's ready to have a bounce back year. You have Jesus Luzardo, who's on a contract year. Hopefully there's something they can do to get him re-signed. And then you have a bunch of question marks. You have Taijuan Walker, who I think you know what you're going to get with him. Is he as bad as he was 2 years ago? No. Can he be solid like he was last year? Kind of that hybrid role, hopefully. And then, of course, you have Andrew Painter, who the much hyped rookie, finally going to get his shot to get into that rotation. And that leads us into today's What If Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. As always, What If Wednesday brought to you by Lotwin. Go to lotwin.com for your 3D custom hype change. Things are awesome. Use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. And this is kind of veering off of what if and is more what is. So it's what is Wednesday and what is realistic expectations for Andrew Painter. I think you can kind of divide it up into three. You have the best case, worst case, and likely. In the best case scenario, he becomes a solid third starter behind Sanchez, Luzardo, and eventually Wheeler, making it that we don't need to have Taijuan in the rotation and can kind of use him as a long setup man or whatever we need. He may push Luzardo for maybe that spot behind Sanchez, at least until Wheeler comes back. I think with all the hype this guy has and how high he's ranked in Major League Baseball prospect rankings and everything, Rookie of the Year should be on the table. I'm not saying Paul Skeens good, but should be on the table in a best case scenario. Worst case, I think he continues what he did with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs last year. Struggled. Part of that was coming off of the injury, but if you remember, at some point in June last year, he was supposed to be in the Phillies starting rotation, and ultimately he'll get sent back to Lehigh Valley. So that's worst case scenario. I don't think either one of those things are going to happen. I think what we're going to get, likely going to start it managing his workload. You're going to see him go 5 innings or be on a pitch count, whatever they decide, at least early in the season, and then gradually work his way up. I think he's going to have some good spots. I think he's going to have some bad spots, but I think probably grow into a solid, not spectacular pitcher, at least this year. What I'm looking for from him is just consistency and being able to show glimpses and flashes of being as good as the hype is. And again, if he can, when Zach Wheeler comes back, if he can knock Taijuan Walker out of that spot, that I would be okay with that. And I know there's a lot of hype surrounding him, but I mean, my expectations are low based on what happened in the Lehigh Valley last year. At least he has some good guys between Sanchez, Luzardo, Wheeler, Nolan, and even JT to learn from. But that's your What Is Wednesday today, brought to you by Lotwin. Go to lotwin.com for your 3D custom hype chains. Use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. But what are your thoughts on the expectations for Andrew Painter? Not a lot of sports to talk about today, so let's talk about prospects. Talking about prospects. But hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. And let me know. I think we're going to be somewhere in the middle. I think there's going to be times where we're like, damn, this kid is the real deal. There's going to be times where we're like, damn, this kid sucks. But I don't think it's going to be prolonged in either side. So let me know your thoughts on Andrew Painter. All right, some quick housekeeping notes. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mod, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. There is a new episode, or an episode from last week, of the Brotherly Birds Breakdown that's still timely and relevant. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. And we'll be back in a couple weeks with a new episode looking ahead to free agency. And then, of course, yesterday's trivia question. We talked about Kobe. Kobe was originally drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. The Lakers told the Hornets who to pick. They had agreed to swap the pick for Vlade Divac and some other money and role players. The deal almost got thwarted because Vlade Divac did not want to play in Charlotte and threatened to retire if the trade went through. Luckily for the Lakers, it did. And if Kobe went to Charlotte, who knows what would have happened throughout his career. But thank you to everybody who reached out and answered yesterday's trivia question.
Hey guys, guess what time it is? It's cookie season. I'm Ella here, your favorite Girl Scout, and we have your oldies but goodies. Lemonades, Dimmits, peanut butter sandwiches, and more. This year we have a new cookie flavor called the Explore Mug. My goal is 200 boxes, so please make that happen. You're going to buy cookies anyway, so why not buy them from me?
All right, time is winding down to buy those Girl Scout cookies, so hook the girl up, would you? All right, continuing our Olympic spotlight. These are athletes with local ties competing in this year's Winter Olympics. We're going to go to skeleton today and look at Kelly Curtis. Now, skeleton, I had to look this up too because I always get confused. You have the luge, where they go down the track feet first. The skeleton is essentially what we did as kids on the big hill in the neighborhood and slid down head first. Kind of a little bit more of a risky and crazy way to look at it, going head first. But that is skeleton, and we're going to look at Kelly Curtis today. She's a Princeton, New Jersey native. She's also a member of the United States Air Force. This is her second Olympics, and in the last Olympics in 2022, she became the first Black athlete of any gender to represent the United States in skeleton. She is Her competition is February 13th and 14th. If you want to watch Kelly and see the skeleton is always fun. Luge and skeleton and bobsled are my three favorite Winter Olympic sports. But we're rooting for you, Kelly. Go make Princeton and this whole entire area proud. Let's go get a medal on February 13th and 14th. But Kelly Curtis, skeleton from Princeton, New Jersey, is today's Winter Olympic spotlight. I think I want to try the skeleton. It might be fun. Dangerous, but fun. All right, February 11th. First, we're going to go back to 1985. And on this day in 1985, the number 16th ranked Villanova Wildcats got overmatched by the number 2 Georgetown Hoyas 57-50 down in D.C. Patrick Ewing led the way for the Hoyas, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Harold Presley had 14 and 10 for the Wildcats. It was the second time that season that Villanova had lost to Georgetown, but they would get the last laugh about a month and a half later on April 1st when they beat the Hoyas for the national championship. But it did not look good heading into that game as the Wildcats lose to the Hoyas for the second time that season, 57-50, this time down in D.C. Fast forward all the way to 2001, and it was the NBA All-Star Game, again, down in D.C., little theme going on here. But what a game as the East beat the West 111-110. The West had a 21-point lead at one point, led by 19 with 9 minutes left in the game. And then the answer, Allen Iverson took over, scoring 15 of his game-high 25 points in those final 9 minutes. Stephon Marbury hit 2 threes in the final minute to help clinch the come-from-behind win for the East. AI had 25 points, 5 assists, 4 steals to take home the MVP. Theo Ratliff also was selected to this All-Star game but did not play due to injury. Future Sixer, who in just a couple weeks would be playing for the Sixers, Dikembe Mutombo, also played for the Eastern Conference that day. But East come from behind, 21 points to beat the West, 111-110, led by MVP Allen Iverson, who had 25 points, scoring 15 in the final 9 minutes of that game to lead the come-from-behind victory. And that leads us into today's trivia question. Allen Iverson had a chance that season to do something very rare. He was the All-Star Game MVP, he won the league MVP, and had the Sixers won the finals, likely would have been the finals MVP. Not many people have done that trifecta. So today's question is, who has won the All-Star Game MVP, the League MVP, and the Finals MVP in the same year? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line or the Discord channel, which is one of the first links in the description. But who has won the All-Star, League, and the Finals MVP all in the same season? It's a relatively small list, so AI would have had an opportunity to join some very, very good company there. And then finally, 2020, Sixers' big win over the Clippers down at the Wells Fargo Center, 110-103. Joe had himself a little tiff with the fans heading into this game. He shushed them and told them at one point, I remember this well, calm down, and then would troll, went to Twitter and started trolling. So, of course, the fans booed him at this game, but those boos quickly turned to cheers as he had 26 and 9 in this game. Tobias Harris, playing in his first game against his former team, the Clippers, had 17 points, 12 rebounds. The Spy, Al Horford, also played in this game. It was the first time in his career since his rookie season that he did not start in a game. And that dated back all the way to 2007, 2008. And good, because nobody will tell me any different. Al Horford came here as a Spy. And it was the worst signing. And somehow, Daryl Morey does not get enough credit for being able to trade Al Horford and that contract the way he did. But the Spy, Al Horford. But the story was Ben Simmons messed around and had his second consecutive triple-double. We talked about the other one the other day, but he had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists for his sixth and final triple-double of that season. Remember, that was the COVID year where everything just got ridiculous fast. We're approaching that anniversary soon, too. Yeesh. But on this day in 2020, Sixers beat the Clippers 110-103 at the Wells Fargo Center. Joe with 26, Tobias Harris with 17, and Ben Simmons with his second consecutive triple-double. Freaking guys every way like MJ. Too bad. He couldn't keep it going. And then finally, our Black History Month spotlight, forged in Philly. We're going to turn to the boxing ring again, and Stephen Fulton Jr., North Philly born and raised. He's still an active boxer, technically just fought his last match in December, but he is a Golden Glove Award winner as an amateur. He's a two-time world champion at 2 weight classes, the WBO, WBC Super Bantamweight champ and the WBC Featherweight champion. His career record stands right now at 23-2, 8 knockouts and counting. His last fight, he lost back in early December of last year, but he is poised for a bounce back. He's forged by Philly to master the craft, survive adversity, and let his work speak. Toughness matters in the boxing ring. Toughness matters in Philly. And Stephen is as tough as they get. So Stephen Fulton Jr. is today's Black History Month spotlight, forged in Philly. We wish him the best as his career continues. But 23-2 with 8 KOs and counting. Let's get the win number 24 in your next fight, Stephen. All right. On this day in 2020, Sixers beat the Clippers 110-103. Ben Simmons messing around, had his second consecutive triple-double. 2001, AI leads the way as the East come from behind to beat the West 111-110. AI with 25 points, taking home the MVP. And then in 1985, Villanova loses to Georgetown for the second time that season. However, later that season, when the lights were the brightest and the game mattered the most, the old adage, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, came true. Wildcats would get the last laugh. Good luck to Kelly Curtis this weekend or later this week, I should say, as she gets ready to bring home a medal for skeleton. We will be rooting for you. All the snow is melting. I actually saw some grass outside, so we will not be doing skeleton around here anytime soon. Although there's enough snow, it might be here until whenever. But we'll update you on the Sixers as we enter the void that is Philly sports for the next week or so. With no Sixers, no Flyers, no Eagles. Last year, at least, we had the Super Bowl to talk about. Nothing to talk about. So we'll kind of reset, get us ready for 2026 as a very pivotal year for all 4 of our teams coming up here. So we'll get you ready for that. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for February 11th, 2026. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a hump day. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.